Hello, and welcome to Say It Naturally. If you've ever felt unsure about your pronunciation or hesitant about using your voice in English, you're in the right place. I'm Jenny. I'm an English pronunciation and neurolanguage coach. And in this podcast, I share insights, reflections, and simple ideas to help you feel more at ease, more confident, and more natural when you speak. And if you're a teacher, I'll also be sharing occasional teacher's notes you can take into your classroom. I'm really glad you're here. We all have different beliefs about our language skills. And today I'd like to focus on three different unhelpful beliefs or unhelpful thoughts and try to reframe them. Maybe find a way of thinking about them that's a little more helpful. The first belief is this idea that I don't sound native. This comes from an idea that native English is better, which can limit our confidence and also limit our communication because it affects our identity, our visibility. But actually, clear communication is much more important than speaking with a specific accent. And a native-like accent is not the same as effective communication. Your voice does not need to change identity to be effective. Many successful English speakers keep their own accent. And I think this is one of the wonderful things about speaking other languages. As I've said before, when we bring in our identity, our culture, our backgrounds into our voice, this helps create connection with other people. Okay, the second thought is that I need to get it right before I speak. However, this creates a lot of hesitation because we are overthinking everything before we start speaking, or maybe we end up not speaking at all because we're not coming up with the correct version. The funny thing is that actually confidence and learning the language doesn't come from just thinking about it. Speaking out loud helps us learn. It helps us develop our confidence in our voice and in our ability to communicate. And waiting to be ready, whatever that means to you, just slows our progress right down. The last belief I come across quite often in my work with people on their pronunciation is the idea that they need to fix everything. This is something that can create overwhelm. When you're trying to think about everything, you've got no focus. You're scattering your attention too thinly, and you end up getting frustrated because there's no progress. The idea of tweaking and making some changes to aid clarity is the most important thing because not everything, not all sounds have the same impact. And some things can be understood as they are. And it's about focusing on the patterns, on things that aren't understood so easily. And this way we can start creating noticeable progress. So these three thoughts might sound different, but they often lead to the same experience. This idea of holding back, overthinking, and feeling like progress is slow because our self-beliefs, our thoughts, influence how comfortably we use our voice. However, when we begin to notice our beliefs, we can start to change, move from that pressure to curiosity. Because when we are replacing self-judgment with questions, we start creating more momentum, more progress. And if you're a teacher, it's worth taking a moment to reflect on the beliefs that you bring into your classroom. The way you think about pronunciation, accuracy, and what good English sounds like will naturally shape how you support your learners. If the focus is on getting everything right, learners may become more cautious, more hesitant, and less willing to speak. But when we shift towards clarity, communication, and exploration, something changes. Learners begin to take more risks, speak more freely, and develop more confidence in their voice. We don't need to remove mistakes from the classroom, but create a space where they feel safe and a useful learning tool. Often it's not just what we teach, but what we believe about learning that makes the biggest difference. The key thing to remember is this: the thoughts you carry about your English shape how you use it. When you begin to notice unhelpful beliefs and gently question them, you create space for more natural, confident communication. You don't need to change your voice. You need to change how you relate to it. And once we begin to let go of the idea that we need to fix everything, a really important question comes up. What actually matters in pronunciation? Because it's really easy to feel like every sound is equally important. But in reality, some aspects of pronunciation have a much bigger impact on how clearly we're understood. In the next episode, we'll explore the bigger picture of pronunciation, looking at the difference between individual sounds and the patterns that shape natural speech, so you can focus your energy in a more effective and supportive way. Thank you for listening today. I hope something in this episode gave you a little more ease or a new way of thinking about your voice. And if you'd like more support with your own pronunciation or confidence, you can find me at excellenceinenglisheducation.com. I work with learners and teachers who want to feel more comfortable and natural in their spoken English. There'll be a new episode of Say It Naturally next week, and I'd love for you to join me again. Until then, take care of yourself and your voice.